So one thing you may not have seen in the mainstream media this week is that France has brought in a law that bans domestic flights if the equivalent rail journey is less than 2.5 hours. And this, of course, is a great idea. We know it's a great idea because I actually suggested it for the UK about a decade ago and nobody listened to me. It's going to cut airline emissions and it takes away something which really should never have existed in the first place. There is no need to take these incredibly short-haul flights. No one's way of commuting to work should be by airline. It also paves the way to subsequently expand the rules. So once people get used to 2.5 hours being a journey that can definitely be done by rail, then it can be increased up to 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and more people can be pushed onto public transport and away from using wasteful, emissions-causing flights. And what I think is a shame about the fact that it hasn't really been discussed much in the media and hasn't really been highlighted is that we're just not shown how in such simple ways things could be different. In Australia, there is a law called like the casual waiting, and it says that whatever you pay your like full-time permanent employees, people whose hours are only casual and changeable must be paid an extra 25%. So effectively the minimum wage is 25% higher if you're on a 0 hours contract, you're on changeable and unreliable hours, which is only fair enough. It encourages companies to give people regular hours if they possibly can, and it allows people who are working unreliable hours a little bit of extra income to fill the gaps when they don't necessarily know what work is going to be coming in. Around the world, things are a little bit different in loads and loads of different places. In France, the pension age is 62. They're trying to raise it to 64, and people are fighting back as hard as they can. Meanwhile, here, we've kind of accepted that it's 67 and it's headed up. Many of us are barely going to get to retire at all at this rate. And what is the government doing about it? Are they talking about the different ways that things could be done around the world and how we can find the things that work the best for people in the UK and the things that make our lives better and more livable and more survivable? No, what they're doing is they're cracking down on the right to strike and the right to protest. And let's be clear, nothing else ever works. Our democracy is absolutely broken. Voting for somebody who has the right policies that you agree with simply doesn't work effectively in a first-past-the-post system. And we can spend all day campaigning to change the system, but in the short term, the only thing that gets us a better standard of living is strikes and protests. And so we need to get out there now and fight for those. And the amazing thing is that the people who are most likely to be supportive of the government against striking, against protesting, against all of those things, do you know what they hate more than anything else in the world? The French. So you know what, like maybe we can sell it to them on the grounds that, hey, surely we, special British people, surely we deserve more than the French. No? I don't know. If you've got a better plan for marketing it to these people, let me know. But in the meantime, let's just try and talk about the actual changes that are possible and maintain our freedom to fight for them. See you next week. Increasingly, the mainstream media is terrible at informing the public of what is really going on. I'm only able to make these videos because people are generous enough to sponsor me making them, and if you're able to be a part of that, I would hugely appreciate it. It can cost as little as $1 a month and you'll get loads of fun bonus content and lots of extras from me and my undying gratitude. I also massively appreciate it if you're able to like, share these videos and let people out there know what's going on.